One of the pieces of feedback that we've gotten is that people want a video version of the podcast. So we're trying to make that work. But part of trying new things is growing pains. So unfortunately, there's a little technical difficulty at a couple points. We always are doing our best to create a good podcast, and part of that is listening to your feedback. So if anybody out there has any ideas of what they think they'd like to hear us talk about, or subjects, or any of that type of stuff, we'll do our best to make it work if it works. And with that, we will take care of some business and get right to it.
This podcast is for informational purposes only. It is not, nor is it intended to be, a substitute for professional arboriculture advice and should never be relied upon to perform or direct arboricultural work. The Tree Thinking Podcast makes no representations as to the accuracy, completeness, or suitability of any information on this podcast and will not be liable for any damages arising from the use of any information in the practice of arboriculture or tree work. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the guests, and their appearance on the podcast does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The podcast and its hosts are not to be held responsible for misuse, cited, and/or uncited copies of the content within this podcast by others. The Tree Thinking Podcast may not be reproduced or distributed without the express written consent of the Tree Thinking Podcast.
A big part of doing this show is trying to connect with our community. How do we do what we do? There's a lot of ways to do our job, and we all do it a little different. If you're trying to be a little better today than you were yesterday, and you want to share what works for you, then we want to know what makes you tick and what's your favorite trick. On this episode of the Tree Thinking Podcast, we reach out to our community, talk stories, tips, and tricks. Try to see what makes the tree world tick on the people that make up our profession. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody that's been patient with us so far. This whole episode is about trying to connect with people. And so far we've been struggling a little bit. But before we get into it, I'm Andrew.
I'm Rob.
Jamie.
Becca.
Corey.
Nice. So like I was saying, we wanted to, part of our whole mission is to kind of connect with the tree community and just kind of help share information. And we know that we don't know it all. We want to get tips and tricks and all that stuff from everybody out there. So we want to try to get some stuff going on Instagram Live or live however we can, because we want your input. And so with that, if at any point anybody wants to come on, please jump into the conversation and we will do our best to make that work.
Yeah.
And until we get someone jumping in, I say we just go straight to the stories from the field.
All right.
Nice.
What do you guys got?
Corey.
I found a tick on myself about 15 minutes ago, and I'm freaking out just a little bit right now. So
He's frantic.
you're going to have to bear with me here if I start itching myself. Is anybody else itchy here? Is that just me?
No.
Just me?
Not particularly.
Not particularly. Okay. Yeah, so that's the personal hell that I'm living in right now. So
Yeah, figuring out what makes Corey tick.
Do you, how confident are you that you got that tick when you were climbing that tree earlier?
pretty confident.
Yeah.
Pretty confident.
So watch out for ticks.
Watch out
there.
for ticks, yep.
Mhm. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, Mayor Venice, if you're listening to this right now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You guys took the mayor up a tree today.
We took the mayor, the chief of the fire department,
Oh, wow.
and one of the city councilors up the tree. And then in a couple weeks, we're going to take a couple more city councilors and the city manager.
Yes. Yep.
So
And everyone will have ticks.
yeah, we're gonna give ticks to everybody. Free tick with every
Who
climb.
puts the tick in politics? Sorry, I'm almost done.
Yeah, no, don't be.
No, you're not.
You said you set up a traverse.
Yeah, we set up a tree first. So we had a couple fir trees. What do you think the DBH on them were? I mean, they were,
Oh, geez.
and they're in a park in the middle of town. So
Probably 80 on the big one, maybe 90.
yeah, I was about to say. I mean, they're big old trees. They're about 170 feet tall, and they, at least one of them in particular, is starting to get some old growth features to it. There's big reiterations. At 100 feet, there's probably a 8 to 10 inch diameter branch. They are phenomenal trees
Monsters.
for climbing
Nice.
in town. So
Very cool.
yeah, no, it was a great time. So on Wednesday we went and we set it all up. So we got all the lines set. We cleaned any hazardous dead out of the trees, and that day was awesome. You know, just hanging out with your buddies.
Didn't find any ticks then.
No, well, not that you know. Maybe
Not-
that tick's been on you this whole time.
Maybe.
Oh.
Never know.
Oh damn!
Never know.
Yeah.
Andrew's trying to get to me. He's not going to make me break.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today.
I don't have to make you break. You're already broken. I can see it in your eyes. But so we got the trees all rigged out, and that was a great climb.
Yeah.
You know, that's with Scott Altenhoff and Eric and Sean, and just Heidi got up in the trees. We have a new seasonal mason. We got him up in the trees, and
And that was his first climb. No, well, because he tried the oak a little bit before that, but he did.
that day was his first climb.
It was, yes.
Right. So he did get on line on an oak just to kind of feel out a system.
Right.
But the first time he actually went up into a tree to try to, did he make it up to the top in the big fir?
Yeah, I think
Nice. So imagine your first climb, you're going up 170 feet. Now, didn't you do like a big 300 footer on your first climb?
I don't know if it was that tall.
Yeah, Becca's like,
It was like, you know,
It was 270.
it's good to start small, you know?
270 feet.
It was a 270 feet.
Not a
one.
big deal.
Yeah. So that was awesome. And then today we went back, and it was great because we were able to first the mayor showed up and the fire chief, and we all just kind of hung out at the whole urban forestry, got together with them, and just we all introduced ourselves and talked about our mission, what we were trying to do, and then they kind of went around and asked questions, and it just kind of became a back and forth, which really touched home because it goes back to our last episode when we were talking about getting politicians in trees and how can you make a difference. And so it, you know, it's like, man, sometimes it just works out like it's meant to.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You have another one scheduled, right?
Yep. In 2 weeks, we're going to be taking a couple more city councilors and then the city manager. And the fire chief today was like, yeah, I'm going to talk to the chief of police and, you know, kind of challenge him, be like, dude, you got to do it. If you can't do it, if you're too scared, I understand. But so, yeah, it was great to get out there and climb with some people that make decisions about the program and about the urban forest and
That's great.
introduce them. They, you know, they're just people, right?
Yeah.
So they came down with the same reaction everybody comes down with after a big climb for the first time, just like, oh my God, it's a whole different world up there. It was beautiful. It's, you know, it was awesome to see that.
It really was.
Nice.
And then it was awesome to hit the traverse that was at 150 feet also.
That's a healthy height for a traverse.
Yeah, no, it was one of the one, you know, and it wasn't super tight, so you definitely kind of go down and sag to the middle, and then got to pull yourself up that other side, you know. So, yeah, it was fun. Kind of go out into the middle of it and just kind of hang out in the middle for a while, and just kind of you could see Autzen and you could see Hayward and all the big stadiums, and you could see the sisters. I mean, it's just amazing view from up there of the city. So,
Nice.
yeah, definitely the highlight for me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Highlight for me was the fucking tick that I found afterwards. Well, that wasn't a highlight. That was more of a...
Yeah, and we'll get some pictures on the social media. We got
Of
pictures.
Corey's tick.
Yeah. Oh, did you get a picture of it? Is it still down
There's
there?
like a little blood splat on the floor.
There's a blood
over
spatter,
here.
but I don't see the little monster anywhere.
Still photo worthy, I think.
There's a little Lyme disease blood down there.
There's a little Lyme disease blood down there.
Jeez.
Don't send me your tick pics.
Oh, yeah. Now you're gonna get it, dude. Now- yeah.
Show me your ticks. I have a funny story from Monday. It's not funny, like haha funny. It's like funny, which was so we were doing an ivy pull on some trees at this lady's house, and she's got all these squirrels. She like does the squirrel rescue thing. She's
I talked all about her on one episode.
oh, cool, yeah.
It was with Johnny. That
oh,
episode.
man, I wasn't
So,
here for that. but
Getting squirrely with Johnny.
Yeah.
Look up that episode. But yeah, I talked all about. She's cool.
She's so cool, but she keeps having us go back. Her whole backyard is just covered in ivy, like the ground cover there's no, it's just ivy, right? And then so it's like old growth ivy up these trees. And there was an Oregon white oak back there that we cut the ivy at the base a couple weeks ago. And then anyway, so it was funny because my boss was like talking to my coworker who's kind of new with us about how we don't use big shots. We like do hand toss almost everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know how I am about throw ball, like in the way of like sucking at it. And I'm like, yeah, like this, like expecting to just like fuck it up completely. And I got it on the first shot. I got like a line set and it was pretty high. And I was just like, oh,
Nice.
fucking cool. So I like go up this tree and then I realized that, and by the way, disclaimer, as always, cause I'm really paranoid, I weight tested the shit out of it and like swung it around. And then I'm like, but it was hard to see what it was over cause of all the ivy on the tree. And I go up and I realize and I have a photo on my Instagram of this, but I am tied into like, it's like the size, it's like as thick as my thumb, but a little bit longer.
Just a little nub.
It's like this fucking nub on this white oak. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh man. I'm like, I'm going to fix that real fast before I pee myself and like, and have a bad day and come down and quit and like go work at the grocery store. But I the reason I brought it up is because I couldn't see exactly where I was tied in, I made sure that as I was isolating my tie-in point that I had at least 2 pretty solid backups so that like if I happened to be tied into a 1-inch diameter nub and it broke, which thankfully it didn't, but I would have only gone for like a 4 or 5 foot drop.
Yeah.
Which would have scared me, but I would have been okay. But redundancies are important, and
Yeah,
Necessary.
that's one of the upsides of a base tie is you can capture the entire canopy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Totally.
In a conifer. Like I'm tied into this entire tree right now.
Yeah, that would have been a disaster if it was anchored to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
Nice. Oh man, there's very few things that are as good as hitting a good throw ball shot.
Oh yeah, I mean it was apparently not that good.
Hey, you got up there.
Got me up
You were
there.
backed up.
Yeah.
You hit it first shot.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Very first shot, and he was
Yeah.
talking about it too, and I'm like, oh, I'm really bad.
It
at
makes
this.
me think of do you guys carry binoculars in your kit on the trucks or
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
to check tie-ins?
We got them on the city rig, and then I have them in my my little side truck also.
Yeah.
Big blue.
Mine are sitting at home, and every time I'm like, I wish
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, I got to put that in my bag. And I
Yeah.
never,
Yeah, lasers and binoculars are always the one where you're like, I really wish I had it.
A
but I
laser
don't."
pointer. Yeah. Yeah.
That branch, that one, the one that's like wooden and
So a little bit after the ice storm, I was doing some work for some buddies up in Salem, and they had a drone. The guy had a drone, the property owner, and I used that to inspect my tie-in point and to look and see how many tear-outs there were and where I needed to work at.
Nice.
So that's
Yeah.
some next level right there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was great.
So we're on Instagram Live. Corey was talking about his tick earlier, and I figured we'd just mention some
So-
comments.
And do we have anybody joining? Because I think I see Dan on there, and he said he would jump in.
Yeah, I don't see it, but I'll go look.
Okay.
But
Well, you do
Dakota
that.
said you're making him itch. Our buddy Sean said my dog grows the nicest, plumpest corn nut ticks. I don't know what it is.
That is.
Yeah.
Are they
Nice.
engorged? That's the real question here.
Oh man. Yeah, come on, Corey. You're such a quitter. You could have held that thing in there for a little while and got a nice big old corn nut tick.
Probably had a new growth on the back of my neck.
wow.
So I got a call yesterday from the office, and they said, "Oh yeah, we just heard from the city, and apparently a tree fell on a semi downtown in front of the courthouse." And I was like, "Holy smokes, really? That's crazy." And she said, "How about you head down there and check it out?" So I bombed down to the 8th and Oak, and sure enough, there's a Norway maple that was on top of a semi truck, And I'm like, oh, wow. And there's a bunch of police around, and they've got it all shut down. It's a really busy part of town, right where the Saturday market is. And so I called up one of the crews and said, hey, get down here as fast as you can. You know, we've got an emergency. And so I got down to the scene probably 10 minutes after I got the call, and the crew got there probably 10 minutes after I got there.
Nice.
So literally like 20 minutes from when the office got the call, we already had the saws running and the whole place.
Was it a
down.
city tree?
I'm assuming so. It was
Awesome.
right down at the 8th and Oak there, right on the sidewalk.
Sweet. Hey, I think we got Dan in. Dan, are you there?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, we can hear him too.
So it actually works. You're the first. You're probably the first guest on Tree Thinking, and you're also the first Instagram guest on Tree Thinking, man. Making it happen. Nice. How you doing?
Cool, because I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm happy that I was able to figure this out too. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
barely figured it
I
out.
always got to talking about it. I kind of just jumped in because I just got here. I was going to my property, so my dog and I are at the property, and I turned this on, so I don't really know what you guys are talking about.
We're just kind of telling stories from the field. Me and Corey took the mayor and the chief of police and a councilman climbing today, so we were talking about that a little bit. And then Rob was talking about while we were out there climbing with these politicians, he was doing the dirty work cleaning up trees off the streets.
Wow, so you were climbing with them.
Yeah, the mayor, she made it up to about 150 feet up this big old fir. Yeah, she crushed it. It was awesome, man. The fire chief did too. They
Wow.
get up there and you climb one of those big firs with the big reiterations and everything. It's a game changer. You look at trees different,
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, it wasn't just a photo op.
Yeah, no. The only people that were taking pictures was us taking, pictures with our phones. And the whole point is we invited them out. Yeah, we invited them out as a way to kind of share the benefits of urban forestry and, kind of hopefully they were able to check it out. And
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Eugene's cool.
yeah, we're lucky.
Definitely.
You have any good stories from the week? Anything exciting happen?
Well, personally, we got a puppy.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
What kind of puppy?
It's half lab, quarter German Shepherd, quarter Husky.
Nice.
Aw.
Oh, that sounds like a
Oh,
great
wow.
dog.
Cool.
Wow.
Mix.
Corey got a
It
tick.
looks totally. Yeah, it looks totally like a chocolate lab with a little shorter nose, but it looks mostly like a chocolate lab. It's only 6 or 8 weeks, I think.
Oh.
8 weeks,
Oh,
I think.
the adventure
so
is
that's-
just beginning.
Yeah, so much pee. So
We already have a dog, and I've been fighting it for a while until my wife told me last week, "Oh, it's happening." And but she picked like the dog, like my perfect dog. So, and the puppy is so cute, and it plays with. We have a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd usually is not really into other dogs. But she loves this puppy. They just
Oh,
do
nice.
stuff I've never seen her do before. Just so good to the puppy. I can't believe it. She loves it. So that's good.
Aw.
My wife was right. Once again, the dog needed someone to play with.
Yeah.
That is a very wholesome story from the field.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
We should take our podcast in a new direction.
Yeah, the
talking about puppies.
Puppy Thinking Podcast. Yep. So
Yeah.
I'm stoked because we were talking earlier this week, and it sounds like you're going to make it out to the coast with us for our Tree Thinking on location. We'll see how it works. We're going to do our best to record a podcast when we're there, but we'll see how technology works up, 70 feet up a tree in the woods at the coast.
It might be great. It might be a shit show. Who
Yeah,
knows?
but there's only one way to find out.
But will that be Saturday then?
Yeah, I think we'll probably try to do that Saturday evening.
Okay, great.
Yep. So a few of us will head up Saturday. A few more will head out Friday evening. A few more will head up Saturday morning. It's this beautiful property, and kind of our way of being able to use it is the guy wants a tree removed, but that's all right because we might have the best crew in Oregon to go remove that tree. And it's a leave all, so we'll be able to just bomb wood down, bomb branches down. It's going to be an awesome removal. Get some cool footage, and then from there on, it's just. I think we're in walking distance from the brewery
I don't
Yeah.
think
It's a
in
little.
I
downtown.
don't think it's quite walking distance, but it's
walking
almost.
distance if you're not a little bitch.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Sorry, Corey, did that tick you off?
Swear to God, Snowdale.
Oh, at that point, the party begins.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I'll be there. I leave here early Saturday morning, and then hop in the car. So I'll be there Saturday morning. So
Awesome. This will be
Sweet.
fun.
fortunately,
Yay.
couldn't make it Friday, but Saturday night it'll be great.
Yeah.
it's gonna
No.
be fun.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. The thing is, I wish we had more than just a couple days because the beach is so beautiful there. You know, with like these big rock or not cliffs really, but the rocks the ocean hits the rock walls, and then you got a couple spots where there's sandy beach there also. So it'd be great to go down to the beach, just the whole nine. I wish I had time to bring a surfboard, but I don't know if there's time to do surfing, tree work, and a podcast and everything all at once.
Yeah.
That'll just be next time.
You got to
Next
set.
time.
You have to set lower and attainable goals. My only goal is to get just shit faced.
and I think you will achieve that.
I will achieve that goal. That is an attainable. I set the bar low and I can jump over that.
At least you're honest.
At least I'm honest.
That's also everyone else's secret goal.
Yeah. So
Cool. We got a few people joining us. One of my mentors, Doug Tripp, looks like he's on. What's up, Doug?
hey, Doug. Yeah.
Dan knows Doug.
I know, Doug.
Yeah. Good guy. Taught me a lot.
Nice. We'll have to get him on here too. Right on. I wonder how many people can get on at once. Has anybody else sent requests to come on?
Not that I've seen.
No. Oh, can you see it on the laptop there as well?
No.
No. Okay.
Do you want me to try to also join? See if we can get multiple people on there, or do I want to get like Dakota?
It might get a little crazy if we try to get too many
Yeah.
voices in our ears.
Just got a podcast.
And then
Yeah.
we'd be like looking up your nose at all the ticks that are living in there. I'm sorry.
I don't believe they
can't-
live in your nose. I think they actually live in your ears. But
Oh, is that what you scrounged up via your Google searches?
I did.
Oh.
That's where the tick nest picture was.
What was our topic?
I forgot.
Just
Oh,
to
yeah,
check in with
something
people,
about
just
trees.
building community, stories from the field. You got any other any tree related stories you want to share with us, Dan?
I spent the night with Toby Sherrill once, and Brian. He's the artist for Sherrill Catalogs. Brian, do you know his last name?
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure, but he draws all those drawings in the catalog
Yeah,
of.
he does all those drawings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those are Tree Guy classics.
Well, and the tree climber, he was the tree climber companion guy, right?
Yeah, he does the Tree Climber Companion.
Yeah, super cool.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Does all- Oh no, he didn't write that book. That
No, he
was
drew
written
the
by someone else.
illustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does
The illustrations are
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
makes the book so nice, though.
What was it? Jeff Jepson
He wrote
Yeah.
the
wrote the book. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did you do
I got
that
to
climb?
spend the night with them up in a giant sequoia once. That was pretty awesome.
Oh,
Nice.
we got somebody else on.
Yeah, I just
The tree-
accepted Dakota. What's up, dude?
Nice.
Hi.
How you guys doing?
Decent.
Oh, decent. Dan was just telling us about climbing with Toby Sherrill and Oh God, what was the guy?
I'll find
The
it.
legend
Brian.
Brian that drew all those amazing illustrations.
That guy Brian.
That guy,
Yeah.
Brian.
Man, I wish I knew
It's a really
too.
long
I got it. I'm on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What are you up to, Dakota? You out here grinding stumps?
Charles and I are headed back from Portland.
Oh, hey,
We
Charles.
just got done.
Nice.
Nice.
Cool.
Hello, jeez.
Nice. We've been talking about getting
Sweet.
Charles on for a long time. We finally kind of snagged him in through a cameo in the background.
Exclusive, I guess.
Yeah. Charles was one of the people that was we just put some videos on Instagram, some pictures and videos of just rigging out these giant fir chunks.
Pine. Yeah,
Pine chunks. And that was one of Charles' jobs, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Those were awesome, man.
I'd like to,
It was
or go ahead.
last one.
And Dakota was on the lower down, right?
Yep.
For one of them. His buddy, or one of the guys, Jason, was on for most of them.
It's kind of breaking up.
Nice.
Kind of breaking up.
Technology.
I'd like to know
Oh, I
what
can hear-
the most memorable part of your climb with Toby in the Sequoias was, Dan.
Well, we were helping Steve Sillett, so we went up in the Sequoia, and it's a pair of them. It's like the tallest pair, and we worked up in the tree that day, and then Toby and his wife left, and we spent the night. The three of us spent the night, and then the next morning, Toby's wife Maria. We could hear the Jumars, because you can't see the ground. You're up there, and we spent. Oh, I'm skipping ahead. We spent the night up there, and it's so flat, and the limbs are so big, and it's just so. We just took our saddles off and our boots off, and we were just walking around, climbing around like we're on a fort.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
And
So,
Toby traversed. What?
how big are these limbs?
Well, big enough, 8-incher type of things and they're spread out and flat and covered with moss, and
And
it's
like,
just easy to walk around barefoot on them. It's very comfortable, and you don't feel like you're gonna fall because there's so many of them. You'd have to like pass out to fall.
yeah.
You're gonna grab one of them on the way down.
So you were totally comfortable, and you were in a mossy, like very densely, like lots of limbs that are large enough to sit down and walk around.
Yeah.
And these are the
And
tallest tallest sequoias.
Yeah, tallest pair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tallest pair of
Yeah. Toby traversed over to the other side, which was super close. And so, we still can talk and everything. It's right over there. And it was a great night. You could hear the owls. You could look down into the valley of all the trees. And then the moon came up later, and it just brightened the whole valley up. Awesome. Yeah, and then the next morning, Maria came up. We could hear her Jumars chunk, 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 chunk. And she gets up there. She's got hot coffee and crumpets for us.
Nice.
And then
Dang.
we worked that day. Then we just went to work. We never went to the ground. So it was pretty awesome.
That's great.
Wow.
Nice.
And what kind of work were you doing?
We were doing a sample. They're scientists. And so they were calculating the amount of needles on the tree type of thing. So we had to get a certain sample of needles from a certain branches here and there. They calculate it all out, and then we're way up in the air, so we're filling these big bags with all these needles. Like no branch gets dropped. They all go in there, and then they get controlled zip line down to the ground, where they can get samples from them on the ground, and somehow they can calculate how many needles are in the whole tree.
I figured
Wow.
they would have just hand counted all the needles.
Yeah.
That seems easier.
That's
Well,
impressive.
they measure all the branches. They go through trees and measure all the diameter of every branch in the whole tree. You know,
Whoa.
they figure out the whole tree. It's crazy.
So
Yeah.
what was this before 2008?
I guess it's about then.
Yeah,
It's
'cause
about-
I
about
saw
then.
Steve Sillett in talk in Boise in 2008 at the ISA
Oh, yeah,
conference.
before that.
It was before, yeah,
Yeah,
because I
before
think he
that.
was talking about how they would take these branches and like dissect them and count the rings and measure the
Yeah.
needles to see how healthy they were growing. Like it was, I mean, that was quite a while ago, so I'm sure there's a lot more to it than what I'm remembering. But it was fascinating the way they were tracking like the growth speed, and they're talking about, because a lot of people thought these old growths would slow down and stop growing when they got that big, because they were putting on like, you know, just so little growth on the top every year. But they were able
Yeah.
to measure how much growth was going on all the branches, and mass wise, they were like doing way more growth than they had ever done before. It's just, it's spread out over this giant sequoia instead of just, you know, putting all its energy and trying to get taller. It was pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, imagine the mass on the outer ring of a giant sequoia. You know,
Yeah.
how much that tiny thin little layer all around the tree.
And that's
actually
exactly
is.
what they were
Yeah.
measuring.
It's
Yeah.
impressive.
I was I remember hearing something about, it was like a math equation having to do with pizza, and like I think it was a 12-inch pizza versus an 18-inch pizza. I think an 18-inch has double from a 12-inch, I think. I'm probably misremembering this really badly, but like just the volume of that is pretty mind-blowing if you break it.
Yeah.
Corey just reduced Steve Sillett and Dan Krautz's life work of measuring a sequoia into 12 and an 18-ounce pizza.
18-inch. I'm just
18-inch.
I'm just trying to break it down so the folks at home can understand.
No, I was actually appreciating it because it makes so much more sense now.
Oh yeah, pizza.
Yeah.
So it's the Papa John's research.
Yeah, Papa Dan. Oh, that's awesome.
I'll get the Sequoia special, please.
Yeah.
Cool.
Extra branches.
Extra branch.
Right on. Well, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your stories, Dan.
Yeah.
The first Instagram guest of the Tree Thinking podcast.
Hey, Dan.
Hey.
Yeah.
Right on.
Right on.
Our Kraus.
Right on.
Yeah, we'll
See you guys later.
we'll see you this weekend.
Next
Wow,
weekend.
see you
Or
this weekend.
next weekend. Yeah, next
yeah.
weekend. Yeah, don't come this weekend.
No, go ahead and come.
Yeah, or come. Just
Right on. Good checking in, Dan.
Right on.
Bye, Dan.
we'll talk to you later.
See you later. Bye.
I don't know how to hang up with him. You got to figure it out.
there we go.
There we go.
Nice.
Just say bye. And
That
then
was
let them-
cool.
It's up to them.
Oh man, this is too cool.
Yeah.
It's awesome being able to talk to people like that.
Yeah.
It's nice to see everyone's face and on the blue screen.
All right, who else wants to come on? Anybody else? Send a request. We'd love to talk to you. That's what this episode's about, is reaching out to people and
Yeah.
getting people's takes on things.
Looks like Elwood just joined.
Oh, sweet. Elwood, yeah, send a request. And can you send a request to people, or do they have to send a request to you?
I can invite people, yeah.
Yeah.
How exclusive is this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're pretty much
Sorry.
open for business.
You have to be a member.
Yeah. And to be a member, you got to friend us on Instagram.
Yeah. So
Friend us on Instagram and hit the invite button.
anyone watching, if you have a cool story that you want to share, I mean, of anything,
Yeah.
preferably tree related, but honestly,
We'll
it doesn't
also take
matter.
questions.
It doesn't matter, man.
Just go ahead and comment, and then
Stories are good.
I'll send you an invite, and you can come on and
And-
we'll chat.
There's about a 20-second, 30-second delay.
Yeah.
So-
So I'll get to you.
Yeah, it might take a second to get you on.
Caryu Tree Service says, "Come on, internet, it's 2021." So
Yeah.
stuff's slow.
Yeah, he must have been here for the beginning. If you weren't here for the beginning, the first 5 minutes of this was us trying to figure out how to make technology work.
Being
You know,
all kinds of
Oh.
special.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like the beginning of the internet, like Mosaic.
Yeah, no,
Like,
yeah.
You went to look at a picture and you were like,
Yeah.
go make a
Deep,
sandwich,
deep,
come back.
deep,
It's like
deep,
half of
deep.
it.
It downloads one
I'm saying
pixel at a
this, like-
time.
Yeah.
So talking about the people who make up tree work, that's the
Right.
topic, right?
Yeah.
What sort of key points did you have?
Well, this kind of all came together a little last minute, but
That's weird.
one of the things that I was kind of curious about is how did people get into the profession? Like, do you know, that's one of the interesting things about tree work is people get in there all different ways. You know, everything from like helping a buddy out on the weekend and realizing that tree work kicks ass to going to school and just making it your profession and from day one. So I don't know what are your guys' stories. We talked a little bit about it on episode 1, but I don't know how many people actually listened to episode 1.
Yeah, let's do a refresher. Yeah, so I got into tree work. I first heard about tree workers when I was in college, taking an urban forestry class, and I thought, oh, that's cool, tree climbers, neat. And then I, went about my life, and it wasn't until a few years later when I was getting out of this awful job, and I was looking on Craigslist, and I was like, tree climber on Craigslist. That sounds interesting. I'm up for a challenge, so I reached out to it and wound up working for a private company, and then kind of just went from there.
Nice. So Craigslist.
Craigslist.
What were your career's ideas before being a tree trimmer?
I wanted to be a wildland firefighter. I was a wildland firefighter.
Yeah,
but
not
that's-
wanted to be.
No, I was, yeah. And
Yeah.
well, I mean, I also wanted to be one, but my wife had other ideas. She didn't like being left alone for 6 months out of the year. So,
That'd be a rough one
Understandable.
on a relationship.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
priorities.
That's kind of rough in general,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
It's a lot of like backcountry,
I loved it,
bean
man.
eating, cigarette smoking fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It was honestly great. It's not as great as tree work, but it was a lot of fun.
Well, that's kind of nice that you're like, I guess I'll do this instead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
begrudgingly.
Wow. I, as I mentioned before, just started volunteering planting trees for a little local nonprofit here that teaches people how to plant trees and kind of make stewards out of the community. And then ended up working with them and for them for a while, and got pushed into the direction of the city of Eugene as a seasonal worker, and just got lucky enough. I was only, I think, supposed to do tree inventory updates on the iPad, but then that crazy snowstorm happened.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like all hands on deck, It doesn't matter if you don't know how to run a saw, like you can pick up a stick and move it towards the chipper. So, and I thought I was going to hate it, but turns out not so much. So
Yeah.
that's basically, I know you've all heard that 1,000 times, and maybe so has everyone else, but it's kind of nice because I just, it started from a very wholesome place. Like I was giving my free time up to do something because it just felt nice, and now I like feel nice all the time, and I get paid for it now.
Well, and that's one of the interesting things about kind of the profession is like people fall in love with it.
Yeah.
And you never know who's going to get bit by the tick,
The tree tick.
The tree tick. Yeah. It, I remember when you were coming on and it's like, oh, one of the people that help take care of Friends of Trees is going to come here and do inventory update. Next thing you know, there's a snowstorm. And here's Becca just kicking ass and taking names. And it's like, oh, I guess she's down to go. It's go time. And she's right in the mix of it, and not everybody's like that. But if you are, it's probably kind of one of those things where you're going to be a tree worker.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting to like it so much, and I was like afraid of you all at first too. I was like, oh god.
I'm still afraid of Andrew.
Yeah.
Mostly afraid of what he's gonna do.
Yeah. Well, that's because I throw stuff at you every time I have an opportunity.
Every time.
Is Andrew like secretly 1,000 ticks in a trench coat?
Yeah.
Maybe I haven't got to like stab him with an anti-tick
Yeah.
things yet. So
What about you, Jamie?
How did I start?
Yeah, how'd you get here?
Um,
What's going on with you?
yeah.
let's start at birth, and then
Yeah, well, I mean, I've heard a few stories. I, like most people, didn't even know that this was a profession or anything. Especially, I'm from North Dakota. Like, we just don't really have trees. I bet the state has like one tree company. That's a joke, but
Not really though.
it could be true. They're probably like snow plowers that do tree work on the side.
We're about to get a lot of hate mail from North Dakota.
Yeah.
North Dakota.
But anyway, I moved out to Oregon, and I started landscaping with a buddy of mine. And the winters were slow. It was probably like my second year landscaping down in Ashland, Oregon. And the winter got really slow. And I was kind of wanting work, so the owner of the landscape company introduced me to the owner of a tree company, Canopy, down in Southern Oregon. And he was like, yeah, they're looking for work. You can go hang out with them, part-time to get through the winter or whatever, Little did he know I would fall in love with it and leave that landscaping company pretty quickly.
Peace.
Yeah, just seeing people climb in, rig it, and I just knew, like, I got to learn to do that.
Yeah.
So I just busted my ass on the ground and, yeah, just worked as hard as I could so that I could get up into the trees. And my first climbs were always like a stuck piece of gear, like a friction saver or something, in like a blue spruce at the top of it. It's like, yeah, Jamie wants to climb, we'll go get it.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. Literally had no idea it was a profession until I like showed up on the job site. I'm trying to think of what the first job was. I think it was they had done a big cedar removal, so I just show up to move wood. So that's my first ever experience in the tree work, was just moving rounds.
Yeah.
And then we go, and it was like a small pine removal. So I see him put the spikes on and, gaff up it, just kind of chop and drop. And then I think the next day was like this big mulberry pruning in between a bunch of different buildings. And that's when like the rigging came out. And I was like, whoa, this is really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more complicated.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Rob, we were kind of born into it. Our family has a tree company locally, and so we grew up watching that company grow up. And I think the first time I remember being on a job, I was 10 and Rob was 8. And it was just, after work, hey, we got it. This job's taking extra long. We need to get you guys down here. And I remember Thundercloud Plum just hauling it through this yard, just so pissed off that I had to be hauling this brush, But the first time that and there was a few jobs like that when we were younger, but the first time I got into it professionally, was, I think it was a couple weeks after I turned 18, because you have to be 18 to be on a tree job, or I think that's how it is. And so we, I turned 18 and they say, all right, head on down. And I think, Rob, it was even like a couple weeks before you were 18, we had someone that got fired and we needed someone. And so they're like, all right, you're about to be 18, so come on down. Theoretically, there's no.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. There's no actual.
No, we lost you.
Oh no, Rob.
Hello. Are you there?
Yep,
Okay,
there you are.
cool. I'm
There.
back. I'm back.
Big Rob's back in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember there were several jobs, where we had to just do what we had to do to, help the family before we came on as employees, but
Flagging or whatever.
picking cherries, whatever. But I remember there was a big job and it was wild. It was probably a big removal. I vaguely remember it. The main thing I remember was how crazy I thought the climber was, who was Doug Hornaday. Shout out to Doug.
Yeah.
And it turns out he is kind of crazy
Oh,
in
man,
all the right ways, but
I was very intrigued and got into it when I was just about 18, and that just the whole thing. We were raised in it, so it's hard to really like find a defining moment that made me think, oh, and now I'm an arborist.
yeah.
Right.
But I can say that I started a program with University of Oregon, the Canopy Connections program, where we took a lot of middle school kids climbing, like thousands of them, and we would take them 100 feet up into the old growth canopy, like what you guys did with the city recently, and that whole program was designed around the concept that there's a defining moment in someone's life where they are inspired to do something, where they think, wow, I can do that. Oh my gosh. And get, motivated and get into it and start working hard at it. And that becomes their career. Usually the people that have made the biggest impact or are the most successful in their field can remember that one moment that they were inspired to do what they're doing, and that was exactly what we wanted to create for these kids, was a really awe-inspiring moment that they then, said, I want to get into, being a good steward for the forest because I really appreciate this place. Or I want to be an arborist because I really like climbing on ropes and being in trees. Or, that was our whole purpose for that program, was to become that defining moment that inspires people to do amazing things with their career.
Wow.
Yeah. And we've actually talked about doing an episode all on definitive moments.
Yeah.
So that'll be one coming down the
Nice.
pike. And, I'm not exactly sure when it's going to be done. We've got some plans for it, stuff we can't fully talk about because we're working with other organizations and want to kind of make a thing of it, because that is going to be a good episode, because that, there's a lot of power in that definitive moment,
Oh,
whether it's
man.
what inspires you to become an arborist, or maybe you're already an arborist and it's, going to a certain seminar or climbing
Yeah.
competition and learning something new that inspires you to take your game to the next level.
Or maybe just being an arborist is a job to you, and then all of that sudden, like that defining moment, turns it from a job into a career.
Yeah.
Or,
No,
or a lifestyle.
totally. You see that crazy climber and you're like, holy smokes, or see someone doing some crazy rigging, experience a storm, and you're just like, holy smokes, what just happened? I'm like, this is changing my perspective on life. I want to do something different,
So true.
Yeah, that's power. That's really powerful. But yeah, no, it's kind of cool. Going back to us starting when we're 8 and 10, last weekend, we, a lot of times I'll do weekend work. And the kids always are like, they want to hang out with their parents on the weekend. It's like, hey, this is our opportunity to make money. So the kids were like, we want to go with you. We want to work on the job. This is bringing it to the family. And so we're like, sweet, bring it. Let's go. So we had already done half of the day's work, and we came home, had some lunch, switched some gear around and whatnot, and took off back to the job. And the kids wanted to come with us. So we loaded them up in the car, Axel's 6, Malia's 8.
Nice.
And we have a couple helmets, they're old PTCI helmets, for kids. And so we had them with it all PPE'd up. Yeah. And it was awesome. Now, they were kids, so they started hauling brush at first, and then they're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And it was like 92, 93 degrees. It was hot out.
Oh, yeah.
And, and so we were like, hey, you don't have to, if you want to hang out and sit in the shade and just, kick back, drink water, relax, you don't have to be hauling brush. And so they did that for a little while, and we were working for this old German lady, really awesome, but very German lady. And she grew up on a farm in Germany, and she loved the fact that we had our kids out there working with us. So she saw them starting to lose interest, and she came out with ice cream from, that she had for her grandkids, and was like, here's some ice cream. You guys are doing awesome. and they got all inspired, and they, you know, you can only sit so long, and, you know, like, hey, the sooner this is moved, the sooner we're out of there. So they just started hauling brush, one little stick at a time, you know.
Nice.
But it was inspiring. It was like, holy crap, what have I done to him? Oh no.
Well, no, what I take from that is that, like, having that person like the client that can be like positively reinforcing what they're doing by just showing them respect.
Yeah.
Like that's what those kids want, is to be respected by people that are older because they're younger, or you know.
Yeah.
And so if she didn't come out and have that kind of gratitude or appreciation for what they're doing and what you guys are doing, having them come out, then they probably wouldn't have that second win.
It's totally true. And we played it up. We were like, hey, all your friends, I was like, they can't say nothing to you. We were like, you're out here working. None of your friends have done what you're doing right now. I have so much more respect for you coming out here and volunteering your time to figure out what it means to work. I was like, there's a lot of adults that wouldn't do this.
And really, I think that could translate into like advice for, you know, people in general would be, if you're the old school, you know, been there, done that, you know, and people respect you, then you should show appreciation for what you want to see. You know what I mean? So like, you know, if you're that role, if you're that person that was, you know, giving them props for working, you know, then give people props for that kind of stuff. Don't just hold back if you're thinking, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. Then go ahead and give them a attaboy.
Actually say something,
you know, or
do something.
attagirl.
Yeah. Bring them some ice
You know?
cream.
Yeah, totally.
And it'll really help them out.
To bring it back,
And they'll get into it and be better. And
that could be a definitive moment for them.
Yeah.
Even if they don't
Yeah.
remember it and think about it.
Oh, yeah.
That can change their
subconsciously,
perspective.
that is totally forming what they want to do with, you know, hauling brush.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's cool.
We haven't even-
That's awesome.
20,
Yeah.
30 years from now, Molly and Axel are going to be talking about definitive moments on the new iteration of Tree Thinking Podcast, and they're going to be talking about that.
Back
moment.
when we
Yeah.
were 6 and 8,
Yep.
Yeah.
our dad hauled us off to the job. And,
Those were the days.
Yeah.
Ice cream definitely helps, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
On a
Ice
hot
cream.
day,
Oh.
That's
there's
funny.
Nothing better.
Tuesday, I was up in a fir tree. We're just getting hazards out of these firs, you know, just this huge grove of firs in front of this place. And I'm up in the fir tree and I start hearing the ice cream truck.
Nice.
And, you know, just kind of thought it was funny, be like, bomb down, be like, guys, we got to go get this.
I thought you were gonna say, you're like, Becca, go south ice cream truck, Becca.
I was actually working for Elwood, so in my head it's like
That's funny.
cruise down and I take off running. They call Elwood like, yeah, the contract
he literally repelled out and went running after the ice cream truck.
Come back with one of those like SpongeBob.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys, I got the bomb popped. But you know, that stuff goes through my head, makes me laugh. But anyway, I come down and the nice lady we were working for brings us out ice cream. And I thought that was so
nice.
funny. We were like, I was hearing the ice cream truck off in the distance.
Nice.
Come
Yeah.
down, you get the drumsticks, you know, the chocolate covered cones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
A couple
awesome.
of weeks ago, it was like 97 degrees outside, and it was just a hot day, and we worked like 9 hours, and towards the end of it, my boss texted me, and he's just like, if you're not done yet, just like stop. It's hot as shit. Like, don't do it. You're good. And I'm like, we're just cleaning up right now. He's like, oh my God, seriously? I'm like, yeah, bring popsicles. And he did. He brought us like popsicles and ice cream and mochi, and it was like,
Good job, Nate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
This beer's the Nate.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of popsicles, has Lane Forest Products stopped giving us popsicles?
That's a good question.
Oh no. I was there this weekend
Yeah,
and they were
they're
giving.
good. You're good.
They've been giving popsicles for years. I gave them a picture of you and said, "Don't give this guy any popsicles."
Tell
So
him you're out.
I knew it.
Don't do that anymore.
yeah.
Somebody's gonna crawl into bed tonight and it's just gonna be full of ticks.
Yeah.
Swear to God.
So if you're on here, man, somebody jump in. We want to talk to people. We want to get other people's perspectives. So by all means, you know, hit. Oh, we got someone.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. If nobody else wants to come on, bring Dakota on. He's always a good time.
No, we didn't have any ropes on it.
Hey, how's it going, buddy?
He's back.
Way out over.
This is an awkward time.
Yeah. How'd you get into it?
Yeah, tell your story. What was your definitive moment, or how did you get into tree work?
Well, I think my first time was
Yeah. It was cool.
my.
All right, Dakota's on our podcast, so I should probably hang up.
I can do it.
Yeah, tell Charles to hang up. He's
Okay. Anyway, I think it was. I can't remember the first job where I did like some big thing, but
It's the real thing. We like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Crank it up.
That's how you know it's candid.
like a big top. Probably singing the rope through my hands, and that was probably it for me. Then after that, my first like decent climb, when I took the top out of this little pecker pole fur, and I like swung around because I left too much hinge wood. I didn't cut it off, and I just like swung back and forth. That was it. That was it.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
For a living.
That's awesome.
Nah, yeah.
That's what did it.
You can take a good whipper and have a good time. You know you're gonna be a tree guy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was scared shitless. I won't lie, but I was also like exhilarated.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You grew up in
It was good.
a family business too, right?
Yeah, my folks have they've been around for like I think 15 years, 20 years. Oh yeah, my mom's actually in the comments right now.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to my folks for sure.
yeah.
Got me into. I was pretty young. Hypothetically, maybe 16. Hypothetically, like probably not, but maybe.
Yeah, you probably were 18, but might have been 16.
Like, yeah. On the internet, you can say whatever you want, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, totally. Nobody's watching this.
Yeah, there's no repercussions anywhere ever for stuff you say on the internet.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was when I started, pretty young, and been doing it for like 6 years. Still love it. Still have no problems getting up in the morning and getting to it.
Nice.
Nice, out there crushing it. What were you guys up to today?
Was storm damaged up in Portland, and had this big
Make
limb
sure.
reaching out to the house, and it was like the only limb left on it. Had a bunch of tear outs on it. So Charles went up and he took care of the brush on it. We did a tip tie and a butt tie on that weird wonky limb because it was out over a deck and it was cherry, so it was heavy as hell. You don't want to like snap cut pieces. You don't want to do anything. So yeah, it was some fun rigging. I don't know if we got any video of it, but yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
And we did some lot clearing thing for the city of Lake Oswego.
Did you like crank the limb up with the GRCS? Like tip tie lift the whole thing?
No, we just like got some gnarly pre-tension on it, and there was a rigging point at the top of it, so we were able to swing them out, and then the butt tie, kept it from like having that pendulum back to the house.
Okay.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a good time.
Sweet.
And then we fell some nasty, dead, punky trees. Felled like 20 of them. And, yeah, it was a pretty good day.
Right on.
I think yesterday was fun, though. We did a fat fir. It was like 56 dBH.
Nice.
That's a monster.
It was and, yeah, there's a good video up on Urban Arbor Care Instagram page if you guys want to see me taking the top. It was a fun one.
Nice.
Nice.
blister or two right there.
Nice.
Nice. Good job, man. Hey, that's what it's about, getting out there and getting it done. Is your mom still on here? Can she come and join the conversation?
But they're out on Triangle Lake. They don't have the best of internet.
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be good.
It says here she's so proud of you, son. You're a great person and that she loves you.
Aw.
I wanted to be the one to relay that message to you.
Jamie
Yeah.
actually just made that up.
Yeah, Dakota's mom, you've done it right. You raised somebody that can take down a big old fur and is also a damn good ground guy.
Yeah.
So that's something to be proud of right there.
So yeah, I appreciate it.
Right on. Oh, she says she's right there. Is she?
Yeah.
Can we bring her on?
Oh, I don't know. You want to try?
Yeah. No, totally.
Hey, Mom, so right next to comment, there's a little button. Literally,
This is fantastic. I'm so happy this is
Wow.
happening.
Yeah. No, this is great.
there's no pressure. You can join the video call, basically. It'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, that's a beautiful thing, man. Me and Rob come from a family of arborists, and I had my kids out there hauling brush last weekend. That's what this is about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I personally just wanted to keep it, keep up the family legacy sort of thing. I mean, it was my stepdad who got me in, but I consider him as my other dad, basically, because, family things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, hey, honestly, it was our stepdad that brought the tree world into our life as well. And absolutely love my dad. He listens to the podcast. He's one of the 5 people that does. So, Dad, I absolutely love you. Shout out. But I got a lot of thanks for my stepdad also for getting us into the tree game. We've made a career of it.
Oh, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, big time.
Probably none of us would.
Yeah,
Thanks, Andrew and Rob's dad / Dakota's mom.
yeah, making it, keeping the industry alive.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So she asked, how do I join? So there's a little button right next to comment.
And I think we sent a request to you as well. So to be honest, I don't know technology real well. And Jamie just stepped out. So we're lost without Jamie.
Yeah, we're really flying blind here.
Yeah.
So what kind of aha moments do you have in your experience being an arborist? Like, is there any all-time story of what you've done, or just kind of stories that you've heard? What kind of aha moments can you share?
Shoot. I mean, I haven't had anything really like super extreme that I've thought about or done personally. I mean, probably the biggest thing that I can remember in recent history was Charles and I went up to Portland probably like 2 months ago. Taking care of the broken out hemlock, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a hemlock. And it was busting out at the base. I can't remember how big it was. It was probably like 40 dBH or like 32, something like that. It was like 32 dBH. It was tall, like, at least 80, 130 actually. He just told me. So it was a tall sucker, and it was leaned up into another cedar right next to it. And so he went up, set rigging in that cedar. We put a line on it with the GRCS, and we were just like on the ground cranking that thing, pulling it up through the canopy of this cedar. And we were there for a solid 8 hours of just set up and crank, a little bit of cutting, and we put a face cut in it and started to go through the back, and it was like twisting and doing all sorts of weird stuff. And so we just kept cranking it, and eventually, thankfully, Charles wasn't like cutting at that time. I was kind of just like doing a little bit of cranking, and I started hearing some popping, and this thing started crashing through the canopy of the cedar and all these other neighboring trees, and he had taken little bits of the top out of it, just above where it was engaged in this other tree. And so this thing started crashing through, and there's a house straight where it was going toward. And we knew it wouldn't reach it, but if something crazy happened and another top got knocked out of another tree or limbs went flying, it would have been a bad deal. But this thing came crashing through, and I was able to hold it up, this whole log with the GRCS on a 3/4 inch. I held it for like a solid 3 seconds as it was coming down.
Nice.
And it was, I wasn't sure how. I'd probably only used it like 2 or 3 times before that. And this thing held up this whole hemlock.
Oh my
gosh. It was like 8,000 pounds or something like that.
Man, it's like a crane pick on a GRCS.
Well, granted, I know that one end was on the ground, so it probably took some of that weight. But the GRCS is, I think, a 2,000 pound max limit device. Yeah,
I thought it was more than that for some reason.
$2,000.
Yep, that's what
Working load limit is.
Yeah, that's the working load limit, which means it can do what, 10 times that?
Oh, no. At least before it breaks.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Dakota.
That is really cool. It's amazing when you can turn a tree into a crane. That is an aha moment of like, oh my God, you can turn a tree into a crane? Are you serious? This is a game changer. You gotta love the GRCS.
What's that?
You gotta love the GRCS.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we melted a little bit of plastic on it for sure.
That plastic is just there for aesthetics. It's not that important.
I mean, if that's the worst thing that happened during that, that's pretty awesome. Right on.
Dakota, our friend Zach asked what our favorite flavor of chicken dinosaurs are.
I like the Stegosauruses.
The Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus is a good choice. That's mine too.
So it just says favorite flavor of chicken dinosaurs. I'm just going to go with nugget.
Nugget? I think that's the only flavor.
Yeah, that's just like saying all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever doesn't render you too bad.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Toilet rendering.
I don't mean to call anybody out, but Charles mentioned if Elwood's still here to call him back.
Yeah, no. Oh, I got to call him back? Or Zach?
Charles. He has to call Charles back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Elwood called Charles.
Yeah, Elwood, if you're still on, join the chat.
So, yeah. Hey, it was awesome to see you guys again. Hopefully I can be on the pod again sometime soon.
Oh, dude, anytime.
Oh, yeah. You're part of the pod family.
You're a pea in the pod.
Be in the pod, buddy.
Yeah, just keep in touch.
Yeah, we'll do.
We got one more.
All right. See you, Dakota.
Later. I don't know how to leave.
I don't know how to make you leave either.
Yeah. We can't make you leave, Dakota. You're one of the peas in the pod.
Only you can make you leave.
Bye.
Bye. I also have to go.
Okay.
Hey.
It's that time.
Yeah, sorry.
Do you know how to leave?
I don't.
Okay, it's on you, though. We're
How
not
do
going
I
to
hang
figure it
up?
out.
You know what's so funny is like, so you guys know Adam has like his own tree thing. So on the weekends we do work and stuff. But it's like, so I'm sitting in the passenger seat of the truck and he parks it really close to the fence. And he did that one time. I was like, "Can you get out?" Like asking if I was like physically capable of opening the door and like removing my body from the vehicle. But the way he said it, I'm like, was it something I said?
Yeah.
So it's a running joke.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So that's your partner, to clarify, right?
Right, yeah. So my partner's like, can
Park.
you get out? He's like, park the car so close to the fence.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyways, on that note.
Yeah. Can you get out?
Yeah. Can you get out? Yeah.
Don't say it like that.
Right
Now he
on.
says, do you have enough room? Anyways.
No, we're saying, can you get out?
Yeah, there's the
Fair enough.
Right on.
Well, thanks.
Right
Yeah.
on. We'll see you later. Thanks again for swinging by.
Yeah, thanks to all the Instagram views in the pod and the watch out for ticks.
Oh yeah, and you crushed it today. I'll tell the story.
Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
don't tell them about how stressed I was. But it wasn't. It was fine.
Yeah, no, you're great.
Bye,
Night.
guys.
Later.
Later.
We'll see you later.
Happy Friday. Take it easy, but take it.
ticket.
But ticket. Take it easy. Corey. Oh, God. Bye, Ruth.
Cool.
Anybody else want to jump on and tell a story? You got a definitive moment? You want to tell us how you got in the industry? You know.
Just comment so I can see it here, and then I'll hop over there and bring you in.
I got a interesting story from the field. I already told it on the last podcast, but that podcast was mysteriously deleted. So
Yeah.
It wasn't deleted. It never existed.
it never right. It never existed. It went into the timey-wimey vortex of
Yeah, it was just us talking.
just us talking. Yep. It was a dry run. It was a practice podcast.
There you go.
So a couple weeks ago, I was doing a bunch of large fir removals for oak release, which in Oregon, if you're not from the area, the Douglas firs are kind of invading the normal oak savanna habitat. So Oregon white oak is a normal habitat that surrounds most of the Willamette Valley historically. And then Douglas firs are kind of invading that, and they outcompete the Oregon white oaks because they grow so much faster and so much taller. So they'll just kind of choke out the white oaks. So it was both a oak release, which is where you go through and remove these Doug firs, and it's also a fire suppression because they were close to this guy's house, right? So dropping a bunch of large Doug firs, going through and just limbing up all the limbs. He wanted to try to save the logs and then possibly mill them up at a later day, right? So I'm just taking I fell them, I limb them all the way up, and then I take like a 10-foot top out of it and then leave the majority of it. These are probably 70 to... No, they're probably like 100 foot tall. Yeah, they're probably like 100-foot tall firs. So we're doing all that. When I went out there and gave the bid, I had my cell phone on me and I checked and I had service. So I was like, okay, this is going to be a non-factor. This is way out in South Eugene, way outside of normal cell service. So go back out there and do the actual job, and I don't have cell service, like none at all. And so I'm checking my phone. I'm like, oh, I don't have cell service. Okay, well, I'll just put this back in my pocket. I'm just not going to think about it because I don't have cell service, right? So going throughout the day, I go to pull my phone out of my pocket. I think I wanted to take a picture of something or another, and I realized my phone's not in my pocket. I'm like, that's kind of weird. Where did it go? And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I left it in the truck or something. So, continue going about the job. It's really, really hot. So I'm at the end of the day, we're kind of like really exhausted. This was right in the middle of the 90, 100 degree heat, and really exhausted, just ready to have the day over with. So we head back to the car. I cannot find it anywhere. We search everywhere for it, and it doesn't have cell service, so it's not like I can just call it and then find it wherever it is.
Right.
And it is an absolute mess. It's like the job we did over in
Falls City.
Falls City, thank you. Yes, it was like that one, only more firs and an even bigger mess. So imagine trying to find a phone in that. Just a nightmare. And so we're like, okay, we just have to go home. I'm too tired and I'm too hot to think about this right now. I'm not going to solve this problem. I'm not going to dig through all this brush to find this phone, right? So we go home, and in between bouts of my wife is driving, and I'm just passing out in the driver's seat because I'm just hot and tired and exhausted, right? And in between these bouts of sleeping and then waking up, I'm like, oh, I have an alarm set on that phone. I'll just go back out in the morning, right? So this is fortunately the same weekend as July 4th, right? And so the 5th we have off. So we go back out on the 5th at 4:50 in the fucking morning. This place is way in the South Hills, and I don't live in Eugene, so it's usually a long commute to go.
You're
to
a half
Eugene.
hour from town, right?
I'm half hour to 45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, so we wake up at like 3:30 in the morning to find this fucking phone.
Yeah, new phones cost like $500.
Oh, this was more.
Like $1,000.
This,
Yeah.
This was close to it. And I literally just got this in February, and I was so pissed. It was a whole thing. I don't even want to talk about it. I just hate cell phone companies. I hate cell phones so much.
But it worked out.
It worked out. We were out there, 4:40 in the morning. I'm halfway down the hill, and my wife is up like near the base of some of the trees, and we kind of like spread out to kind of hear it. All of a sudden, hear the alarm. We find it. It was just
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I was
that's
ducking.
so cool.
I think my wife says she knows exactly when it happened. I was ducking underneath one of the trees to like go around to the other end to cut some more branches, and
Yeah.
she saw me like, I don't know if I tripped a little bit or if I just bent really low, and that's when she thought it happened. And sure enough, it was right there, and it was just covered by a couple branches. But
Wow.
it was such a
That's awesome.
yeah. I hate.
You found it.
I found it. Yeah, I hate how tied I am to this fucking thing, though. I hate
I'm
it.
sure.
So,
you
what
just
happened?
had like a
Don't worry
regular.
about it. Don't
I'm
worry
sure
about
you
it.
just had like a regular. What's your alarm tone? I guess is what I
I'm
wonder.
gonna play it.
Yeah.
I'll play my alarm tone.
It'd be funnier if you had some like
He-
weird song.
He told the story about when he found his phone.
I know. I remember. Yeah.
He
I was
he
here.
knows. He knew exactly what story.
if
it was.
he had,
Yeah, I
never
was
gonna
here for
give
the-
you up.
It's
Never gonna let you down.
It's a really great story.
Hit me, baby.
It's a
one
story
more
of success.
time.
I came in like a wrecking ball. But the mess in Falls City you were talking about, we did a no cleanup job there, and you and I were both climbing, and Amanda was kind of organizing stuff on the ground, but we made such a big mess. I had a rope bag that got buried in brush, and the brush was probably like 4 feet deep. So at the end of the job, I kind of start looking for it, and I was like, you know what? I don't need that rope bag.
Not
That's
worth
your
it.
rope bag
Yeah.
now.
Not worth it.
It's like,
This is the ringtone.
Okay.
Very spacey.
so you're walking through the woods.
Walking
looking-
through the woods,
Oh,
trying to
wow.
listen for this.
Some X-Files shit.
A
Yeah.
UFO
X-Files.
comes flying overhead.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So, anybody else trying to get online?
Now, Dakota's mom says, great to see other women out there.
Oh,
For
heck
sure.
yeah. There's some badass women in the tree game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's always like good energies to have on a crew.
Yeah,
Definitely.
like all of our wives.
Yeah, totally.
They all do tree work.
It's kind of cool when we put together a tree thinking
Oh, yeah.
crew. It's usually half men and half women.
Oh, yeah.
because all of our women are out there hauling brush and
And they're keeping
You
right
know.
up with us, if not outpacing some of us.
heck yeah,
Outpacing Andrew for sure. 'cause he's
Oh,
so
on
Before
a
you know
regular.
it won't even be a thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
it won't.
yeah.
Just normal.
Just normal.
Yeah. Becca crushed it today. So we're dealing with, what's it called? The IFPL, like fire danger shutoffs.
We in 3?
What's that?
Are we in 3?
I'm not sure. It's like 10 o'clock out where we were.
Yeah, 10 to 1 is 3. Is level 3. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like, is it 1 o'clock if you have all your fire tools with you? And
Yeah, you got to shut down at 1. You're not if you're at level 3, and this is only in the county. It's not in the
Yeah.
city. If you're at level 3, then you can operate from 10 to 1.
okay.
And you're supposed to do a 1 hour fire watch after you're done.
Mhm.
So someone should be on site to be able to watch the scene to see if something sparks up.
Yep.
And then when 4 like extreme, that's just complete shut off. and-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, then there's just no operation.
Gotcha.
So we were just shutting down at 10, like no more power tools after 10.
10 a.m.
Yeah. 10 a.m. out there.
Wow.
Yeah, that
Rob's thinking back to, was I out there working? You had a look on your
they
face.
change.
Can
Yeah.
neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah.
I mean, everything changes at a pretty fast pace. So like the IFPL, it goes up and down, and then you have to change your operation to suit whatever that means.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, it's not worth operating, beyond that.
Yeah.
No,
It's for a reason.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
totally.
And,
Yeah.
and
The-
like
you don't want to start a fire.
Yeah.
use your hand saw, get an electric saw, get a trailer to haul brush.
Yeah.
Like there's means around. Like people say, "Oh, I got to work to make money." Well, yeah, you can continue to work. You just can't use a motor.
Yeah.
You know, like,
So we had a 2-day project, I guess just out north of town off River Road. And it was some ornamental pruning, some big, awesome Japanese maples, 2 of those, a Pacific dogwood, and then a plum, that thundercloud plum that was just falling apart. So we just took a ton of weight off the thing. And then we had a canopy lift on a good sized Western red cedar, and then a pretty good sized like triple stem sequoia. And we knew, all right, we're going to shut down at 10 as far as power tools go. So we show up the first day and it's like go time. Let's get the canopy lift done on the sequoia because we need chainsaws for that. We get that done. Go ahead.
I think that if you have a permit, that's the difference
You can
between
keep going to 1.
10 o'clock.
Yes.
So if you don't have a permit, you can continue to 10. But if you do have a permit, you can operate until 1.
Right.
That sounds right.
And
Yeah.
I think that comes with you having water on site.
5-gallon bucket, and you got your fire extinguishers, and you do a 1 hour
Yeah.
fire watch. Yeah.
Isn't there a certain amount of fire extinguishers per like?
You need a
tools
5
you
pound.
have?
You need a 5 pound fire extinguisher, and you need to have a 5-gallon bucket
Yeah.
of water. So we have 5-gallon buckets of water. We got the 5 pound fire extinguishers. We got the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're
Cool.
just like, we're good to shut down at 10. We'll get that done, and then we can just ornamental prune, hang out, and do that, and stage
Nice.
brush for the next day. So day 2, we show up, just start chipping right away, and then we go do the Western red cedar. And I think it was supposed to be like a 3-hour tree. You know, we get over there at like 8 o'clock. But I looked at it and I'm like, it's just drop stuff.
Yeah.
Just drop stuff. So
It's a 2-hour tree.
yeah, exactly what I thought. So originally I was going to go up there, but I just like, hey, does anyone else want this? Offered Mark or Becca.
Nice.
And Becca was like, yeah, she'll do it.
Nice.
You know,
Nice,
so
really?
I put her on it. It was a time crunch.
She was
like
a
we got to,
slayer?
yeah, dude, it was awesome.
Oh, nice.
We got it. You could tell she
Yeah.
was a little stressed because of the time.
Right
Once she
on,
got up
Becca.
there and started cutting, she's like, okay, this is it's a very brushy tree.
Yeah.
There was a lot. It's double stemmed Western red.
Some work to be done.
Yeah, work to be done. And I just kept, the whole time, like, you're doing great. You're getting it done. Just let it fall. You're not going to hurt anything. you
Yeah.
know?
Nice.
And yeah, she got it done. I think it was like the last saw cut was like 9:55 or something like that. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad she challenged herself that way.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good job.
Yep. Yeah, she crushed it. That was kind of fun, like having a time crunch like that. Like 10 o'clock's the shut off. So like we got that sequoia done the first day and then ran over and just started working on that big thundercloud plum. Like the whole crew just descends on this one, like
yeah.
a small
Nice.
tree just to knock
Oh,
it
yeah,
out real
dude.
quick.
And that's fun. I mean,
Oh, that's
it
so
can be
fun.
frustrating as a pruner because you got 5 people all pruning one tree and you have an idea of what you want it to look like.
Yeah, yeah.
But everybody has an idea of what they want it to
But
look
Yeah.
if
like.
it's a shitty thundercloud plum
This-
that's already ripped apart, like
And it's
Yeah, it
good
was
for your
falling
ego
apart.
to do jobs like that because you're like, hey, I'm not the end all sale.
Oh,
we're
it's great,
we're
yeah.
a team.
It's
you
just
know,
different.
Yeah, totally.
You know, when you get, I don't know if I would have cut. You're making yours more thin than mine.
And that's why it tests your ego because you're like, I don't know if I would have done that cut. Maybe
Or
that's not the
whether or
best
not
cut you could have made.
it's all going to match.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You know,
true. That's
and-
true.
Here's another funny part about that job. So we get all the power tool stuff done, and now it's time to just zen out in some big Japanese maples. So we usually put on some music like for ornamental pruning, and I decided to put on like lo-fi beats. So,
Nice.
kind of like
Yeah.
really chill hip hop beats.
On
Oh,
the
yeah.
Sinners?
We just have a Bose speaker,
Okay.
Bluetooth thing.
That's awesome. That's what I put on when I'm writing. A lot of times I'll get up really early in the morning and I'll write.
Yeah.
And like it gets me into a real creative mind state. So I
Right.
could see doing like pruning, it just like shifting a gear to like this super creative,
Yeah.
chill spot.
If I listen to music when I'm doing tree work, that's usually what it is. Just because it's like good background stuff, you can really focus on what you're doing. But
That's
anyway,
a whole nother conversation.
yeah, the client where we were working for was hilarious, really cool guy, and he came out at one point and he's like, "Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. You know, you guys can listen to whatever you want. You don't have to pretend you're on an elevator or in a mall or something because it does kind of sound like elevator music.
Oh, it
especially
totally
some of
does.
the songs. So then out came Biggie and Pac.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to call me out. I'm going gangster.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
going back to those jobs with time limits, like I hate doing it for every single job, and I've worked for companies where every single job is a time crunch because you just have to, bust out work and then get to the next one as quickly as possible. Fuck everything else. But like doing that every once in a while and just having that like huge time crunch and just knowing that you have to do that, like I love that challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. And the company I work for, we're not you got to get this kind of done. That's not the culture we have there. It's like, it takes what it takes. Let's be safe. Let's do things proper.
Yeah.
So it's fun when it is like, all right, let's get it.
Let's get to it.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm bidding, when I'm walking around with the client, I'll write down how long I think it'll take, not what the number is. Because a lot of times I'll adjust the number depending on what the tree is, or, if there's like depending on what I see next, I might change the number of this to match that, or, play games with it that way. And so I'll put the time there. And it also helps keep me honest when I'm looking at it later. If I'm thinking like, oh, I could do it for this much, but if it says it's going to take you this long, you think like, well, I could do it this much, but this is how long I thought it would take. Do I really want to do it this much? But it also has the side effect of then when I'm going and doing the work, I'm thinking about like, okay, I said it was going to take 2 hours. Can I do this in 2 hours?
Right.
And I think it's been a good thing for me working, because it's really easy to kind of do those ups and extras, which are good to do. I'm not saying don't go extra for people, but what it'll do is you'll start thinking like, okay, I bid for 3 hours on this or 2 hours on this. And if you get it done real early, you can think like, all right, I'm just going to do some ups and extras. Or if if you bid it for 2 hours and you're at 2.5 hours, you're like, oh, this is where I need to start not doing those ups and extras anymore, So it gives you another reference point while doing the work.
So our buddy from Instagram, we go back and forth all the time. His name's Mike, and I've talked to you about him. He's works for a line clearance company.
Yeah.
And I know he's wanted to talk about like kind of the divide between.
Well, and Mike, if you're still on here, I want to do a line clearance episode, and I've been a good buddy of ours, Yaniv, does line clearance here in Eugene, and I've been talking to him about coming on, and when we do that, we want to have you on. That being said, if you want to jump into this conversation, man, we'd love to talk to you, whether it's about that or just how your Friday was.
Yeah.
You should jump on in.
If you're feeling it, just comment, and then I'll come pull you in.
It's and there's about a 20-30 second delay here, so
yeah,
we'll see in a second if you're commenting right now.
Dun, dun, dun.
But that it's interesting, the idea of how long it takes to do something. Because if I'm like pruning a little fruit tree, which I know isn't really hard on my body, and it's something it's like for a nice old lady, is that the same, like time-wise to value-wise, is that going to be the same as if I'm putting in hard work where I know I'm going to be exhausted at the end of the day?
Yep, because your level of expertise.
And that's true.
Like, how many years did it take you to get as good as you are right now?
That's very true.
Pruning a fruit tree.
That's a really good point, Corey.
Yeah.
I like that. And, the first place my mind went when you brought that up is, I'm going to start doing something different than I've ever done to a certain degree recently, or here pretty soon. And that is, I'm going to be riding my bicycle a lot more.
Nice. Man, you are on a health kick between this eating out of your garden and riding your bike.
Oh, big time.
You get to put a chipper on the back of the bicycle?
A trailer.
A trailer.
I don't think it's rated for a chipper yet.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get you there.
But I will get a trailer, and and it's pretty cool. I'm getting really inspired. I'm getting stoked. It's gonna really, it's gonna be wonderful for me. I look forward to it. But it does change my time management. You're talking about time.
Yeah.
How long does it take to do something? Well, I do a lot of estimates, and how long it takes to get from one estimate to another is kind of a big deal if you're riding a bike.
And if you push it too hard, you're going to show up at a job all just covered in sweat.
Just give me a second.
Well, I mean, that's an extreme example. Hopefully that doesn't, actually be what happens. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I got a bike on the way. I ordered one. It's an electric bike, so I have an electric assist. And
Oh, nice.
and I'm like going full on. Like I already gave my truck to another employee, and
Whoa, nice.
like I've been riding my bike for a week now, zero cars, and I've got a new bike coming that should be here in about a week, and that's gonna outperform the one that I've got now. So I'm gonna build a trailer for it and be able to, go grocery shopping or take my chainsaws and climbing harnesses with me or whatever I want to do.
Do you still have that Sperry bike trailer? Because back in the day, Sperry bought a bike trailer.
Unfortunately, it got stolen.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah,
Man.
along with all the other things that got stolen since then. But either way,
Yeah.
that's not a big deal. We can shake that off.
Yeah.
And in fact, I don't know how much you want me to get into my bike plans and whatnot. I mean,
It's
I could probably
cool.
talk all
Yeah.
night about it if you wanted me to. But my plan, I'll tell you my plan for the trailer because I've been thinking about it pretty hard lately, is I want to get like a standard toolbox, like aluminum toolbox that's super lightweight but still tough and you can lock down, like the one on my green truck.
Mm-hmm.
So probably like a 4 foot long, maybe 18 inches by 18 inches by 4 feet toolbox, and then just mount an axle on it,
Nice.
and then build a
Nice.
tongue up above the back wheel that connects into my seat post or maybe into the frame by the back wheel,
Brilliant.
and then even put trailer brakes on it.
Oh.
So what I was going to say
Next level
is
shit.
you got to understand Rob lives up on a hill.
Yeah.
So that means when he's leaving, if he's got a full load,
Oh,
it's going
yeah.
to be pushing him down the hill.
So
and
I
when he's
want-
coming home, his last little bit is up a hill.
Oh yeah. And so I'll have trailer brakes, hydraulic,
Yeah.
and,
That'll be sweet.
and then be able to hopefully have our last trailer was like a 600-pound capacity.
Really?
Oh,
On the for the bike.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
the
was
last
a pretty
one we had
heavy
built,
duty
yeah.
trailer.
Holy
It
shit!
But
was
all
designed-
built out of steel and stuff. I mean, I want to go next level and be going to like
Aluminum.
It was
Aluminum.
designed to haul brush and chainsaws and climbing gear and the whole nine.
So I'm
You
doing it, man.
Sperry boys are
I'm
just on a
I'm
totally
putting my
different
money
level.
where my mouth
Yeah,
is.
we're
I'm
a
gonna
little
get
crazy.
an electric bike and build a badass trailer. Be able to haul all my climbing gear. If I want to just run errands to grab stuff, I'll be able to put whatever I want within reason in the trailer, and then
Apparently not a chipper.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
hack and slash it up,
There you go,
I
there
can
you go.
slash it up.
You could get one of those little chippers,
Really?
you know, that
Oh,
like
yeah.
take 2-inch branches and just mulch it into your
Which
toolbox.
would probably work pretty good
And
if
you
I
totally
was doing a
could
really
turn that
small
into
job.
yeah, you could do that into a trailer too.
I mean, I was driving my Ford Ranger for a long time. It had the step side short bed, so it was only like a 5 foot by 3 foot or 4 foot bed. And you would be amazed. I did a lot of jobs in that truck, and it went great. So I could probably do comparable jobs in my trailer if I had a tiny little chipper.
Yeah, little fruit trees and
to
stuff.
like that Ranger.
Well, you just tell him
Trailer
you're gonna,
brakes would be easy.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
another disc brake, hydraulic, another
Oh.
brake lever up top.
Fully
Oh,
covered.
yeah.
And it'll make it harder to steal. That's another thing that I was talking about.
Still,
Because if you've
Next
got
level.
a trailer on there that's like a full-on trailer and it's locked to it and you've got that super lock on the back rim of your,
Yeah.
the one that's like real easy, it just mounts on the back rim.
Uh-huh.
You get one of those bike locks and a trailer on the back, no one's going to take it.
Yeah.
No
that's
freaking
awesome.
way.
They're gonna have
Good
to
luck, man. I don't care if you know how much it's worth.
get a helicopter or backhoe in there to move that, but that's the only way you're moving it.
Yeah.
you got a chipper
So
on there.
I've been thinking about it, like before I go to bed, I'm like, all right, how are we going to make this work? How are we going to make this work?
Yeah.
I used to be
I'm going to
an
do it.
avid mountain biker down in Southern Oregon, and we would do trail maintenance. And the dude who ran trail maintenance, like they have electric full suspension mountain bikes now that
Nice.
are just dope, like
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
cool. And he would pull trailers up single track trails with chainsaws and pickaxes
Wow.
and
So
shovels
imagine
and shit.
that times 10, and that's what
Yeah.
I'm getting.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It's happening, man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So TCIA magazine, I'm gonna be your next freaking cover shot.
So there was an
Watch out.
arborist.
Just Rob with a big shit-eating grid riding on this bike.
Oh yeah.
There's
give me a little bit. You come out every quarter, every month, or whatever. So give me a little bit, but I'll be there.
there's a
Be there
dude
for the fall issue.
Oh yeah.
a dude on Instagram, Sam Finco. He's from I think Wisconsin. But for a while there, he kept posting his stories about he got an electric assist bike and a little tiny chipper to pull behind it.
Oh,
And then I remember seeing his story of like, whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. And then he kind of just didn't see it anymore. And now he's running a company with big machinery and stuff. But yeah, that was like
He gave it
went
a
for
shot.
it.
I totally
He went for it.
understand.
I thought it
That's
was
totally
so cool.
I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
And you know what?
And I got his back.
Shout out to him. Even if it didn't work
Big
out
time.
long term, dude, you tried it, and that's
tried it.
more than 99% of people.
And I believe I have the answer to his problems. I really do. I think that it is having the highest technology possible with the bikes that we have today, and I think it's having extra batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two things will make it to where it most likely will work for me.
And trailer brakes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, our friend Sean just said that sounds rad. Just make a small log hauler trailer, pull those select mill chunks home with you.
no, I've
15
got
foot.
I've got a log hauler, and I could probably, if I really wanted to, make it to where I could hook it up to my bike.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm stoked for you, Rob. I can't wait to see what you come up with.
15-foot log dragging behind you.
I mean,
Rolled off the
depending on the diameter, yeah.
Yeah, and he just mentioned he rode Scott's e-bike. I think I've taken a turn on that thing. It's so impressive.
Yeah,
and that's what you're getting. Have you rode Scott's?
I have not rode Scott's, but I can tell you that I'm getting the most state of the art, the best fucking bike.
Sweet.
Like, literally, there aren't any better.
Yeah.
Sounds tremendous.
Scott's bike was just this conversion kit. I think
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
mounted onto the frame and
Yeah.
it assists
So
as you
even
pedal.
that,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been riding for the
It's
last
awesome.
week. For the last week, I've been riding a loaner bike that they gave me. Because I went to the bike store, found the one I wanted. I was like, okay, cool. They said it's going to be a couple weeks before we can get it here. I said, no problem, but I really would like it if you could, loan me a bike.
Right.
They said, okay, sweet. So they gave me a loaner, and I've been riding that for the last week. It's an amazing bike. Even just that would probably do fine for bids. I would imagine that I would have a hard time with pulling a trailer, but the new one that I'm getting, it's on.
Yeah, I've been
It's on.
thinking about bikes. My bike at home right now it's a full suspension mountain bike, and it's kind of like it's an enduro bike, so it's right on the cusp of just being a full-on downhill bike, but it can still pedal okay. But I haven't gone since I've moved to Eugene. It just sits there. So I've kind of been thinking of getting something a little more versatile, like a hardtail mountain bike. That way I can still cruise around the city, and if I want to go hit the trails, it would still.
That's basically what
okay.
this is. It's got a super nice rock shock in the front.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of 120 millimeters of travel in the front.
Yeah.
But then it's a hardtail in the back. But then I got the suspension seat.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
So I got the suspension seat
Yeah.
post with the hardtail so that it's more efficient, but the really good shocks in the front.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah, it's a Sentinel 2.0. It's basically what the Los Angeles Police Department made for their police cruisers.
Oh yeah.
Huh.
And they
Yeah, they're gonna do whatever they can to catch you.
Yeah.
So,
There's some jokes there.
but either way,
Cool.
it's been designed for an urban bike to be able to do a lot of things.
Sweet.
And I'm really, really excited. Every night I go to sleep, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't wait till I get this bike.
Oh, dude. You're gonna have to bring it. Well, you're gonna bring
Oh,
it
yeah.
here when
Oh.
I can't wait to ride it.
I've already rode 200 miles in the last week.
Sweet,
Yeah.
man.
Nice.
And my legs are feeling it. I'm stretching. I'm fucking eating lunch on bike paths. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Oh, speaking of projects, this Tuesday I'm gonna take the chipper over to Joel's shop.
No way.
And we're gonna rip the engine off of it.
Hell yeah.
We're gonna rip the gas tank
gonna
off of
happen.
it. Yep, and we're
It's
gonna
happen.
Electric chipper.
We're gonna
my
build an
God.
electric chipper.
It's a Vermeer 935. Oh my God. A lot of people would think that you're crazy because this is like the arguably one of the best disc chippers ever made.
Yeah.
You know, so
And I'm gonna put an
this
electric
chipper-
engine on it.
So he's modifying it, changing one of the best designed chippers in history to be an electric chipper. That is freaking cool.
Yeah, I can't. Well, we're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
I got one too.
Yeah, you got one too. We've got two matching like broke down old chippers,
That we
Franken
both spent
chippers.
thousands of hours feeding.
Yep,
and
and-
they just couldn't eat enough.
Yeah, and we're gonna bring them back to life, give them a little shot of electricity, and just start shoving brush through them again. I can't wait.
Cool. I just saw. Yeah, Urban Arbor says go electric.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, electric. Well, I'll
It's
have the
happening,
electric
man.
saws.
I'm gonna do it.
So I'm Joel. My buddy's a mechanic, right? And he had a bunch of tree work, and so me and him have been buddies since high school. So he was like, "Oh, what do I owe you?" And I was like, just to help me take apart the chipper, and we're good, you know. But so we were talking electric chippers and electric stuff, and he's telling me about how they're making Tesla conversions for V8s. To put Tesla engines into your V8. So I'll have my electric chipper. I'll have my electric saws. So all I'll got to do is get that Tesla conversion for my old 77 Ford truck. And then it'll be all electric,
I'm telling
baby.
you, it's going to happen faster than people think. Mark my words, in 5 years from now, oh my gosh, I wish I could just like take a timestamp and revisit this podcast 5 years from now. It probably wouldn't be that hard, but either way,
It won't be that hard.
Yeah.
A lot of things are going to change with the way that industry operates, the way that people get power, electricity, the way that
It already has.
I mean, it's on, man. The wave is already cresting. It's just whether or not you want to fucking take that wave.
Yeah, do you want to be on?
You want to jump on that wave or not, man?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know?
It's starting. We all have electrics. Well, do you have an electric saw?
No.
Yeah, but you will soon.
I'll borrow mine anytime you
Thanks,
want.
Rob.
And you use, you can borrow any of ours. And you've used plenty of electric saws,
There's
right?
two. There's
Yeah,
two
yeah.
of them at Mr. Chainsaw right now.
Yeah, we're all big fans of the electric saws.
The 540 highs
Two of them.
for sale.
Looked like it. Yeah.
Oh man,
And-
There was
Well,
one. There was one
I'll
on the
beat you
shelf.
there.
you better hurry
Yeah.
up.
And the technology's
I got my
just
truck.
started.
You'll be on your bike. I'll get there.
That's awesome.
Yep.
I want to say real quick, we got Anadi of Tree Care India just joined us. I don't know if you
Tree
guys know
Care
him.
India.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So Anadi, I'm a big fan of your guys' page and all the stuff you guys do. If you want to come on and
Please
say
do.
what's up, go ahead and comment, and I'll bring you in.
I think it just to the right, like there's a button just to the right of the.
Yeah, but I won't be able to
Thing.
see it over there.
Yeah, our camera is a little far away, so Jamie's watching a different feed. So just give a thumbs up, and he'll go bring you in.
And a legend, educated climber,
Oh, he's on here.
Patrick, right?
Yeah, Patrick. Patrick's one of those podcasts. I've watched tons of his. He's just for a long time talked about doing tree work the right way and talked about mentorship, and I've learned a lot of tricks from that guy watching his Instagram
taught
and
so
whatnot.
many people
Yep.
a
So
lot.
Taught
shout
me a
out
lot.
Patrick, if you want to come on anytime, brother, just say that you want to be on, request, and we'll bring you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is and there's like a 20-30 second lag between us talking and you being able
Yeah.
to do that. So
I'll
if
check
it's
it.
taking a second, yeah. But yeah, no, the electric game is just taking off. I was talking to Paul over at Mr. Chainsaw, and he was talking about how, like with the blowers, you have like a pack that you put multiple batteries in,
I saw that.
and then you so you can get the juice from all those batteries to have a professional grade blower. It's only a matter of time till you have little things you can mount on your harness. And so you can put a few batteries on your harness, and you can just use that saw for hours and get that much more
Yeah,
power
you're not
from
holding
it.
it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
then
it's
the
all-
weight's
it's
on your
all
hip.
Ooh,
I mean,
ooh.
Yeah,
that-
it's like
Futures now.
what are the? How much do the 150s weigh? Like 3 pounds. There's still 150s. You guys know how much they weigh?
I'm not sure, but there's an electric saw right next to you over there. I'm pretty sure that doesn't have a battery
Well,
in
I'm
it.
just wondering, like in comparison to
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah.
what the lightest, most powerful saw today
Oh,
is.
it's not even comparable without a battery in it. If you're having a batteries on your hips and then there's a cord, you got a lanyard that connects the power. Like
and
that'd be
the pruners. It's just like the grape industry uses those power pruners.
yep.
Right.
It's like a couple grand to buy a pair, but they're-
Hornaday uses them.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he
swears by
preaches them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Though it's interesting. I wonder where the industry will be going in like 15, 20 years from now.
My hope is that the Ronin electrical ascender gets down to like this big.
It'll be the size of like a Grigri.
Oh,
Yeah.
It'll just
And-
me.
and
You're
gets
not, you need to set your sights a little higher.
Oh, this is like the
Hover.
near future.
Hover boots.
I'm waiting for a jetpack and
I
a
still
laser
want a
saw.
job.
So no. This is
that's true. That's true.
this is what I
get that.
picture. When drone power gets so powerful that you can have a drone hover above the tree and you can be tied into that drone. So you can have the perfect pick to climb through that hole, and it'll just sit there hovering, and you'll with your phone you'll be able to move it 10 feet to the right or 10 feet to the left, and it'll just be this mobile pick over the tree.
You'll have a drone for you, and then you'll have a drone for rigging, like a crane drone.
Yeah,
Just
I
drones
still-
everywhere.
just picking pieces off and flying them to the chipper.
I don't
It
know.
sounds crazy, but I mean the technology is already there.
I don't know what kind of stuff you guys watch after work and the research you guys do, but
I wouldn't call it
Yeah.
research.
yeah.
What I watch after work is
Yeah.
definitely not research.
well, that's cool. But basically, things are progressing so fast; it's hard to keep up with. And I believe that. I mean, this is really stretching out there, and I don't care. I'll get a little.
Yeah,
out
let's
there.
get crazy.
Let's do it.
We're an hour and 50
believe,
minutes
I
in.
believe that with the way that things are advancing in regards to just the medical world, and advancements in medicine and the biochemistry and biodevelopment with Neuralink and like these crazy different inventions or things that people very likely will have on the market to be able to expand their way of.
Like biohacks, is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Are you talking about the tree thinking monkey tail? Because
No.
we're already working on it, surgically implanting a monkey tail to help you climb around the canopy.
This is not at all.
We're not really working on that.
No, what I'm talking about is the ability to communicate and understand, and that's the missing link between arborists and trees that I see right now is the ability to communicate and understand.
Oh.
And that's what like the leading scientists these days are working on is like, let's hook up this fucking machine to this trunk and see what this tree needs. It's
Oh.
like, yeah, cool. Right on.
Communicating with the trees through
cool.
the
Like,
yeah,
hook the
through
machine
the
up, see what the
mycelium
trees
network.
what the tree needs.
Man,
It's like, okay, when the arborist can actually communicate with the tree and see what it wants and needs is what I'm really interested about.
that
Well-
is a totally different level.
and that will be through the mycelium network. Because that's how
Potentially.
trees
I mean, I don't
communicate
know.
with each other.
There might be multiple ways.
You know what? Fair
You know,
enough.
who knows, man?
But that's how trees tell other trees what kind of resources
Yeah.
they need
So,
and what.
so I'm looking forward to when they can tell me
Yeah.
Right.
what kind of resources.
Yeah, they're
resources
they're
they need.
releasing this stress hormone or this chemical, so that
Yeah.
means X, Y, or Z.
Bam!
That's
I'll hook you up.
game changer.
I'm your doctor, bro.
Yeah.
So when trees have doctors, not just caregivers,
Right.
like when they're dying or something,
right,
but
right.
doctors to help them flourish and become the best tree they can be.
Hey,
I'll run some tests this weekend. I got an Ethernet cable at home. I'll put one end in my mouth and the other in the
It's going
Um,
to
ground.
happen, man. I guarantee it. Well, I don't guarantee it because we could all die from nuclear war tomorrow. But the thing is, if things continue to advance in the way that they have in research and science and all those things all align, then maybe someday an arborist will be able to communicate with a tree on a different level where you see like eye to eye or more peer to peer.
Trees will be plugged into the World Wide Web.
I don't know.
Just be an app you download.
Yeah.
It could just be
Talk
a
to
dream,
trees.
you know? I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Dakota says just implant a Senna into his head.
Just get it over with.
No, it's not a Senna. It's a Neuralink. It's a Neuralink, bro.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not a leaf link? Because we're talking to trees.
I don't know. The way things are advancing, I mean, it's all happening so fast. It's like a blink of an eye. Just in the last 10 minutes, how many advancements do you think have been made in this world? You know, it's like, and in comparison to that, how many were made 100 years ago?
Yeah, right. You'd have
It's like,
you'd have one advancement.
let's
every
be
decade.
real.
Yeah. Hey. Who knows where the future's going?
It's going to happen fast, man. I'm telling you.
No, it's happening fast. Yeah.
We'll all be on electric bikes with log trailers.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be.
I'm so stoked for that.
We'll have a drone. Our crane.
I'm
drone
going to have
and our
electric
climbing drone.
chainsaw. They know the only thing I got to carry is bar oil.
Yeah.
and and bicycle lube.
Yeah. Probably just pour bar oil on your chain.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
but, well, yeah.
Bio-friendly
we get
bar
something that
oil.
works for both for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
If you're a little low on one, you could use it for the other. I'm sure.
Steal from the other.
All right. Well, I think we're getting to a good place to wrap up this episode. I don't know. Anybody have any other stories they want to tell, or
I don't know, but I'm about 5 beers deep. So
this is what happens when Rob starts riding his bike.
What kind of ideas I have next time?
All right. 5 beers deep. What's your final thoughts, bro?
I look forward to my bike ride home.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I'm just stoked people are on here hanging out with us, and sorry if there was technical difficulties, but thanks for sticking it out and interacting. This is cool to be able to like read the comments, talk to you guys, bring you guys in. We're going to try to really iron this out, hopefully make it better, and keep doing this because like we've always said, we're just trying to build a community, and this is sick to be able to just like talk to everyone, you know.
Yeah.
So that's my final thought. Thanks for sticking through, and hopefully it just gets better.
Hell yeah.
It will. Ticks suck, both metaphorically and literally. That's my final thought.
Yeah. I'm kind of going along with what Jamie said, man. This feels kind of like what we were dreaming about, is having a spot where we could kind of talk and pull people in, and you know, hopefully you guys will keep checking us out on as we go live. And by all means, what we want is people coming in and being part of the conversation. So yeah, one, if you have anything you want to talk about, hit us up in the social media, tell us, and we'll set up an episode around it. If someone comes with an awesome idea, that's what we love. And then we look forward to talking to people about whatever's on your mind, you know. And I guess with that, stay safe and watch out because the future's coming fast.